Hello. Welcome to Worthy Wednesday. We're going to get started on day 3 of our From Wounds to Worth Self-Healing Week. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence and how it can be used as a powerful healing tool instead of a form of judgment, ridicule, and pointing the fingers and blame. That is what it's meant for. It is not meant to shame other people about how they speak and how they react. Okay, let's get started. First, we're gonna go over what we went over the last couple days. My comments are not working. Another little purple monkey staring at me saying something went wrong, so I don't know what that means, and I will try to figure that out at some point. But not today. Let's see. So congratulations on making it this far. First of all, congratulations on committing to yourself and taking your healing in your own hands. No matter who is your caretaker for your mental and emotional health, it's something that you have to advocate for yourself for no matter what, because it's very, very subjective. Our psyches are subjective. And no one is gonna advocate the way you would for yourself. No one sees things exactly the same way that you do. So, welcome. If this is your first video out of the series that you're watching, congratulations on starting your journey. If you've been following along, congratulations on making it this far. And thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. When you heal yourself, you heal a bit of the whole world. You raise the vibration of the entire world. A kinder heart on the inside is contagious when you go out and mingle and interact with the collective. So I appreciate it. You're doing a service for everyone that you come in contact with, but especially yourself. All right. So I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Okay, let's see. We're going to talk about, first of all, I almost forgot to shout out Pianella Piano for the beautiful background music that I have here. Check her out on YouTube, Pianella Piano. She does covers for all the most popular songs with her piano, and it's beautiful, especially if you're working. It's wonderful background noise, trust me. Let's see, what else do I have to cover before we really get started? If you've never watched a video of mine, it's nice to meet you. My name is Camila Joy. I'm a certified practitioner of alternative therapy. And what that includes is all sorts of tools and techniques from both Eastern medicine, Western medicine, talk therapy, holistic modalities that all help you regulate your nervous system, help you soothe first, help you do this in a discreet way, most of the time for free. A bunch of the tools and techniques are free, but if you'd like some other services, I'm not going to sell you anything during this hour. But if you'd like to know what else I offer, take a look in the description. But this hour is for you. So I really want you to take up the space. It would be great if you turned your phone on vibrate or on do not disturb so that you could take all this in and apply it so that you can really feel the benefits of what I'm teaching you here, what I'm showing you. If you do not follow along with the things, well, today there's not much following along, just a little bit. But if you really don't take it in, then you're not going to benefit from it. But if you do take it in, it is priceless and it's going to help you for the rest of your life. So we need free stuff around here, don't we? Thank you for being here. Okay, so first I'm just going to quickly run through what we went over Monday and Tuesday. Monday. Take a look at Mirror Monday's video so that you know exactly what the intentions are for this week, for this self-healing week. There's one each month for free. So take a look at that one. The intentions, the learning coil, how thoughts flow. We went over your neural pathways. We did a diagnostic exercise related to your emotions and your energy. We did some robotic rounds that is kind of close or parallel to affirmations or robotic affirmations, but it's not the same thing. We did a self-compassion exercise. We went over the PALM method of self-management. We prepped for Tune In Tuesday by going over meridian pathways and what those mean to your healing and what those mean to your trauma. And then we went over the connection between meridians and neural pathways. And then on Tuesday, Tune In Tuesday, we connected with our 7 main energy centers, our 7 main chakras. I explained your meridian pathways and how your neural pathways and your energy centers are connected to your nervous system, your trauma, and your path to healing and your regulating your nervous system. We tuned into each chakra. I went deep into how each chakra functions and what they're related to. They relate to each aspect of your life in some way, shape, or form. And then each day you were given a challenge to apply these things that you learned to your life and, see how they fit. And you can ask any questions as you go along the 5-day healing challenge. Just leave a comment. I will get that fixed. I will get this fixed. I don't know what went wrong, Purple Monkey, but we're going to find out so that we can fix it. But, oh, look at that. I'm like squishing stuff over here. Okay, let's see. All right. Grace and understanding, y'all. Because all of my electronics since Monday have been on Mercury retrograde time, if you know what that means. If not, I'm happy for you. Because, whoa. All right. So that was in the past. Now let's move along to what we're going to learn today, what we're going to dig into. All you need for these things is a pen and paper throughout the week. That's all. That's all you'll need. It's either to take notes or to do an exercise if you don't want to put your comments in here, or if I don't get these comments fixed. So not much needed. I try to keep them little tools, techniques, and tricks that you can use to regulate your nervous system. I try to keep them free. I try to keep them convenient and the least time consuming that I can possibly get them for you. So there are plenty of tools and techniques that I have and hold. What? That I can't really share with you, or that I don't really feel like it'd benefit you to have just a quick dabble in. And free, convenient, least time consuming. So those are the ones I chose to share for this self-healing week. But check out next month, because we're going to do a manifestation week, how you can use manifestation to self-heal and kind of create your own reality. Okay. So I hope to see you there for that one. Let's see. Moving on. Emotional intelligence as a powerful healing tool, because that is truly what it is meant for. To kind of go inside yourself. So we're going to get started. First of all, I'm going to take a minute, and when you watch this video, when the comments are fixed and you're able to participate, do me a favor and let me know what you believe, like what is your understanding of emotional intelligence and what it is, okay? Before I even start the explanation, I just want to know what is the concept from what you understand of emotional intelligence, just what it is. Just pause the video maybe and type that in the comments for me. Just the general. It'll just really help me out. It'd be a great favor to me, because I know there are a lot of misconceptions out there. And I kind of want to know what the most common ones are. And I'm sorry, it's not like, oh, no. I just want to know how close we are as a collective to really knowing what emotional intelligence is and how it works before I even go. All right. So there's that. Thank you. I appreciate any input, feedback that you have. Thank you. Okay. So let's get started. What it is. And if you're going to stay for this part, make sure that you stay for what emotional intelligence is not, because they're kind of the opposite of each other. The most common misconceptions that I have encountered are usually the exact opposite of what emotional intelligence actually is. And I am a certified practitioner of, being able to teach others what emotional intelligence is, and how to use it as a healing technique. So it is something that you have to go to school for, and get certified for, and have case studies and things like that. So I am qualified, just so you know. All right, moving on. Emotional intelligence is kind of parallel to your regular intelligence when you kind of document it and quantify it here. So you can call it the EQ. Some people call it emotional intelligence, your EI, but it's your emotional quotient. Okay, just like your IQ is your intelligence quotient, your EQ is your emotional quotient. So it is measurable. So what it is the ability to understand and manage your emotions, as well as recognize and influence the emotions of others for the better. Okay, because it's not like manipulation. And you'll understand that definition a little bit more as we go through today. So what I'm going to do is let you know what are the parts of emotional intelligence, what does it entail, the whole concept, how to use it as a skill, and things like that. So first, I'm actually just going to list off the 5 parts. It's a 5-part framework that's included in, the concept of emotional intelligence as a whole. But as I do that, I would love it if between each part, as I stated to you, if you could just type in the comment section how these terms make you feel. So, for example, if you hear me say the word or the term self-awareness, does it bring on a sense of confidence, like settled into your energy, like I am secure in my sense of self-awareness? Or does it bring up a feeling of inspiration, intrigue? Oh, I'd love to learn more about emotional intelligence because of the things I've heard. Or does it make you feel a sense of shame or fear, inadequacy, etc.? Like whatever sensation comes about when you hear these terms, it would be great if you could just, one word, excitement or intrigue, just in the comment section, as I let you know what the 5-part framework is to either increase or embrace your sense of emotional intelligence. Okay. So part 1 of the framework is self-discovery to self-awareness. Now, when you Google it, it's just going to say self-awareness, but you don't just, you have to discover yourself in order to become aware. So part 1, self-awareness. Part 2, self-management. Part 3, interpersonal relationships. Part 4, motivation and resilience. And part 5, empathy. So that is what is under the umbrella of emotional intelligence. So I want to go over the misconceptions, right? Because there's a very common misconception about emotional intelligence, that it indicates like that it has more to do with how others see you and how you're interacting. Like, oh, that person can't be very emotionally intelligent because they got angry. That person isn't very emotionally intelligent because they cry a lot, or because of the way they reacted or responded to someone, and how, in sort of a defensive way, right? And it's really not about that. The truth is, those who have high EQs pay more attention to how they interact with themselves when they're alone than they do with, how they interact with others. Okay. And then what happens is the way they treat themselves actually will exude outward onto, whomever they interact with. Like when you've been people pleasing or being taken advantage of or taken for granted by someone, or in some situation, it could even be your job, your spouse, your kids even. Okay. Eventually you'll probably crash out on them somehow. Like you'll just be like, you know what, enough of this, because you've been holding it in, people pleasing, abandoning yourself to please or give someone else the benefit of the doubt. So eventually, we can each only take so much. Something's going to happen. Okay. So after you've done that, let's be real, you would usually have a huge sense of relief. Like, oh, so glad I crashed out. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting to do this. You know what I'm saying? That's usually how it goes. You want to know why? Because you finally stopped abandoning yourself. You finally tapped into your sense of authenticity. You finally connected to your genuine sense of self-expression. That is emotionally intelligent. The part that wasn't is allowing someone to take you for granted, allowing someone to let you abandon yourself for them. Okay. So let's just, keep that in mind throughout the rest of this Worthy Wednesday here. It's about how you treat yourself. It's about how you show up for yourself. And then that actually exudes and reflects back to you. If you don't have the self-respect for, if you don't show that you have self-respect, or show that you're connected to your sense of self-worth, show that you honor your positive self-concept, then the others around you are going to follow suit. And that is a huge part of maintaining a high level of emotional intelligence. So it's about how you embrace your natural state. It is about empathy, okay? But we're going to get into that a little bit deeper, because empathy itself is a part of your natural state as a human. But things get, messed up as we take in experiences and have to deal with trauma and things like that. So another thing is that human connection is a basic human need. So your interpersonal relationships, that is definitely part of your, how you interact in them is definitely part of your emotional intelligence, but it's about how you want to show up, not how others want you to show up. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the 5 parts of emotional intelligence and just go through the framework and give you a little piece of insight and just ask you a question for you to ponder on throughout this today's session. Okay. We're going to tap into your sense of worth and allow you to adjust it to make you feel comfortable, okay, with yourself. Because, like I said, self-discovery has to be done before you reach self-awareness, self-discovery and self-acceptance, and then you become aware. So the first part is self-awareness, right? But there are also 5 parts under that, so I'm going to list that for you real quick, okay? The keys to self-awareness are to identify who you really are, not the story that's been reflected back to you, not your surroundings, not how you've been conditioned to be, not the perceptions that others have forced upon you, who you really are. Not who you have to be at work, not who you have to be as a parent, not who you have to be as a sister, brother, uncle, aunt, whatever. Who you really are, okay? And I'm going to help you, just like one little tip, because, time. I'm going to help you kind of tune into that today. Two, the number 2 key is to identify your feelings as they are without trying to switch them up. You're lovable when you're angry. You're lovable when you're sad. You're lovable when you're happy. You're lovable when you're broke. You're lovable when you have money. You are innately lovable just because you were born. Okay. All right. Okay. Make sure to check out Mirror Monday for you. Identify your feelings as they are. Recognize how you are portraying yourself. And that's not to be able to, it's not so that you can change and adjust so that others are comfortable with you. It's so that you can make improvements or heighten the things that are your favorites about yourself. Okay. The number 4, recognize how you respond to situations. Are we being reactive? Are we escalating situations and then wondering, why are we in chaos? It's just about how you want to show up. Okay. And then identify your attitude in every situation. And then it's not, again, for anyone besides yourself. It's so that you feel comfortable with you. Okay. So those are the 5 keys to being self-aware. But here's a little trick, a little tool, a little technique that you can use to connect with your sense of self-awareness and increase your comfortability with it, with how you feel and who you are, right? Just a question. What are some of the thoughts that you have that feel like feelings? Because thoughts and feelings are obviously not the same thing, but a lot of people are confusing their thoughts for their feelings. Because example, let's say you're like, oh, I feel like putting my hands on my boss. Like, they are getting on my last nerve. I feel like, oh my God, ludicrous just popped in my head. I can't say it, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. Like, I really feel like I'm just gonna, crash out at work. That is just a thought. That's just a thought. So if you walk into work and, you're 10 seconds late and now you're in the office for 45 minutes talking about how you were 10 seconds late and you just had it, and you're like, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to quit my job, or I'm going to not do anything all day. Now I'm going to give you a reason to fire me. I'm going to go do something crazy like pop their tires or something like that, right? That's because you entertained that thought of, you know what? I feel like putting my hands on something. Okay? We don't have to entertain every thought. If we do, it will turn into a feeling, but at that point, it was just a thought that you grasped onto, right? Fear is a feeling. Anger is a feeling, okay? But it's not something that we have to act upon, all right? Because emotions themselves, all they are impulses to react to something, okay? I know the definition. I've been, studying this for years now. And when you Google it, it'll say something like an intense pull or something like that. I Googled it this morning, but I already forgot what it was. But it's like, it sort of insinuates that it is an impulse to act, that's what your emotions are. But it words it a little differently, which could steer you in the wrong direction. Okay. It's just an impulse to act. So, you have about like a nanosecond to go, I'm angry, and then stop and go, like, just check that anger so that you can respond instead of allowing this whole scenario to surge into rage. You can just respond by noticing how, like, kind of ridiculous it is, but responding in a professional manner, with reasoning. You can't dock me for 10 seconds. You can't fire me for 10 seconds. And you can just respond and defend yourself. And because you are self-aware, you're aware of the rules of what's going on. All right. Who you really are. how you really feel, how you're portraying yourself, so that people cannot guilt trip you into certain situations. So this is how one of the ways emotional intelligence can be used as a wonderful way to regulate your nervous system, okay? And regulate your nervous system and help you heal at your core, all right? So there's self-awareness. Just quickly, self-management. Make sure to check out Mirror Monday, because I kind of go deeper into the palm method, which is a great way on the spot to manage yourself and how you feel and what your thoughts are doing. It has to do with your physical state, your attention, where it goes when you have an experience that might send you off to the land of what if. What if I get fired? What if I get fired? Anyways, what if I get written up? Okay, right? Where does your attention go? What language are you using in your mind when you have some sort of experience that might trigger you? And what are these experiences meaning to you? So P as in Paul, your physical state. Attention, where are you putting your energy? What language are you using in your head, and what are you turning this into? Like, what does each situation mean within? So if you are just kind of sitting alone and feeling lonely, right? And you start to sulk, and you're just like, then you start to like kind of lean over with your elbows on your knees and putting your face in your hands, which is kind of spiraling you downward into a rabbit hole of loneliness. So when you start to feel that come about, you would want to sit up or stand up. You'd want to put a smile on your face and hold it there for a second. You'll be able to feel the energy kind of pull you into a joyous state. It really works. If you do it, how many seconds was that? It was like 5 seconds, and you start to feel a surge of energy that's changing your mood. So you change your physical state to stop yourself from spiraling into a mental state that you don't want. And then, so you're lonely. Where does your attention go when you start to feel this trigger into a spiral of loneliness? Would you maybe go crawl into bed? Would you go get a bunch of snacks that you're going to regret? Like, where does it go to? Like, I'm always like this. Oh, why does this happen to me? Nobody likes me. That's also a meaning. You know what I'm saying? Where does it go? You would want to change that. You know what I mean? When you start to feel the physical happening, just make sure your attention doesn't go off into wherever it would normally go. If when you're broke, what you want to do is go buy yourself something, then the proper way to reprogram that would be to sit still or like color something you already have. Put your attention on something that you already have in your home. If you're lonely, then it's time to hang out with yourself, do things with yourself so that loneliness can subside. You do have you know, reach out to someone if you have someone who you trust and can talk to. And then the language that you use in your mind and outward. You don't want to go. A lot of people like to vent a lot or gossip a lot. Venting is okay, of course, but like, how many times have you told this story? Are you just calling everybody that you know to complain about your boss? Are you calling everybody that you know to tell them how lonely you are and keep yourself in that energy? Or are you changing it up and making plans to hang out with people or going online and connecting in the best way that you can? What language are you using? When you go online, are you posting about loneliness and isolation and introvert topics in groups like that? Or are you actually connecting with others? The language that you're using. What are you posting about when you feel this way? And then what does it mean to you? What are you making it mean to you? Is it like, well, there's something wrong with me, nobody likes me? Is it how I look? Is it another spiral downward? So when you're alone, a great example is, I've noticed whenever I'm about to level up in life, whenever a chapter is coming to an end so another beautiful one can open, the energy just kind of moves certain people who I would absolutely pour my attention into. And these are not toxic people. These are not people that I would ever regret putting my energy into. They pour into me as well. But I just need the room to focus and level up. So what does it mean to you? Does it mean you're going to level up if you're feeling lonely? This is just an example, obviously. Or does it mean that the world is against you and you're in it all on your own? It's a mindset shift that helps you regulate your nervous system and heal from the inside out. So it's about changing up your actions, and your thought patterns so that you can better manage yourself and keep yourself on a high vibe and on the path that you feel joy and happiness and hope and want to make plans for the future. Okay. So there's one tip. And then for self-management. And then we've got interpersonal relationships. This one has a lot of stuff, so I'm trying to kind of move this along because I do want to leave you with like 15 minutes, if that's possible, at the end of this, so that you can really sit and think and just kind of ponder these things, because this takes a lot of self-discovery, and I would like to take up the least amount of time of yours as I could, while you're fully benefiting and actually able to participate and apply these insights to your life, whichever fits. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But let me know, because I have tons of tools and tricks and ways to customize and personalize anything that I've taught you. Okay. But these are just kind of general and most commonly used and commonly getting the best results. Breakthroughs happen, Okay, so moving on to interpersonal relationships. Again, emotional intelligence is not about the other person. It is about making you feel as most whole and comfortable and joyous within your own body, okay? Within your own mind, within your own soul, okay? Interpersonal relationships. How do you want to show up in your interpersonal relationships? If someone wants you to sit by their side every moment of the day, and you are just fighting the universe to try and make that happen, but you know that you're one that has to recharge on your own. You're one that would like to have a ton of things to talk about with this person when you're together, so you'd much rather have some time to yourselves so that when you get back together, you can have conversations. You know what I'm saying? How do you show up? How do you show up now? And how would you like to show up in your interpersonal relationships? Whether it's work, whether it's, you and your family members, your friendships, how would you like to show up? So actually first, just find out how you do show up. Like, are you very kind? Are you very generous? Are you being poured back into? Do you wish that you could put more time and energy into the connections that you currently have? Do you want to nurture your connections more right now? Are you perfectly in the middle? Okay. Are you showing up already how you want to show up in your relationships and your interpersonal relationships? Let's find out. So take a piece of paper, fold it in half. Fold it in half. I don't even think I have a clean one, but a clean sheet of paper. Constantly journaling and writing things down. All right. So you take a piece of paper, right? And you fold it, but you fold it, whichever way, right? And I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see. Okay, cool. So you're going to take 10 things that you do in your relationships. Like I I text consistently. I respond consistently. I'm thinking of a friendship. I show up to plans. I'm the one who makes the plans. I'm very open to what others would like to do, experiencing new things, that sort of thing. So you write that down. And then you write what you want to see in the other side of your relationships, whether it's work. I would like to be paid properly. I would like to have a flexible schedule, things like that. Are you matching what you're asking for? So it's like, be that person, or, improve in whichever way you choose. If you're putting in too much energy and you're feeling drained by your interpersonal relationships, this is about getting a balance and showing up the way you would like your relationships to flow so that they do. Sure, you may end up changing your career. You may end up getting a promotion, because of these realizations, helping you get more self-aware and helping you align with what you want in your interpersonal relationships. But it also does, as a warning, let you know what you don't want. Okay? And then you're going to have an incredible urge to act upon that, just as a heads up. But you can do that list just to see where you're at. Maybe you are completely aligned. Who knows? Good luck. Best wishes. I hope so. And for the most part, you probably are. Okay? All right. So there's a little tip for your interpersonal relationships. Part 4 of emotional intelligence is motivation and resilience. And my question for you is probably my favorite one out of the bunch here. What were you always being scolded for as a child? Did you talk too much? Were you always like by yourself? Did you kind of always end up getting caught in the middle of the night playing video games? Were you constantly drawing, or whatever it was, whatever you were doing way too much of naturally without, being convinced to do so? What was that? Because when you actually connect with that memory, it's probably going to connect you with your purpose in life. And when you're connected with your purpose in life, you are highly motivated and you are highly resilient. What motivates you and what keeps you resilient? And as I'm on this subject, make sure to take a look at on YouTube here. There's a video that explains the learning coil. Take a look at that, because it will build your resilience and it will build your motivation. I also have some things listed in the description here that will help you confirm that you're actually working on or aligned with your purpose. It'll help you find your purpose and connect with it if you haven't yet. Okay. So what was it when you were a kid that a child, or in high school, your teenage years? What was it that you were sort of kind of being pulled away from, that you, someone maybe said, you're obsessed with sports? You know what I'm saying? What is the thing that motivates you? What keeps you resilient towards that? This is what keeps a spark of joy, enthusiasm, motivation, and vitality in everything that you do, So find out what that is, because you can add that to anything that you're doing most of the time. If you couldn't stop talking, you might end up doing something on social media. You might end up being a commentator of some sort, and you'll feel that fulfillment when you just tap into it a little bit. And for me specifically, it was like, I remember my childhood as being like sitting alone a lot and just kind of looking at everyone else's interactions and the way they speak and the way they connect. And here I am working on all sorts of different tools and techniques that help you tune into who you are and how you interact with others. And people used to go, why are you dazing off all the time? Or, I wasn't eavesdropping on certain conversations. I was not really hearing what was going on, but I was watching the interactions between people at school, at home. And, that was one of the things that everyone around me, and mostly the adults, were kind of like, what is this little girl doing? Like, what? And no one would understand if I had answered them, because I tried it a couple times, and it's like, yeah, okay. But here I am, sitting fulfilled in my purpose, staying motivated and resilient without even thinking really about it. Okay. It just feels good. That's when I feel the best. So that's what brings me the most joy. So give it a shot, because you can apply that motivation and resilience to other things, the things that you have to do, the things that are just logistics, adulting. You can apply joy to that, and happiness and fulfillment to little mundane things, because you've pulled it from what naturally activates your motivation and your resilience. So what was it that you were always pulled away from and scolded for, where you were the most confused? Like, what? I was just watching, y'all. Why am I in trouble? And I've seen this happen a lot. Like, I was always crying because I wanted an instrument, as one of the clients. I wanted an instrument so bad, and we just didn't have the money. So I would just like make different noises all over the house with different objects. And I used to constantly get in trouble. Now this person is like, they travel New England in a band doing covers, and they're so happy. So really tune into it. See if that's your path. Most likely it is. Okay. And then the last one, empathy. There are a lot of people out there that, they kind of resonate as an empath. They're saying, I feel other people's emotions. I can kind of hear their thoughts. I can read the room without reading the room. So a lot of people think that they are an empath, and maybe you are. I feel like we're born with that. If you were to see a toddler when they first learn how to walk, and someone stubs their toe, they're gonna feel connected to that pain, and they're gonna come try to console you and try to ease that pain for you, because it's a natural, innate way of human life and the way we are, human connection. Okay, but there are 3 different levels to empathy. Okay, you could just, there are some people, I'm going to say the word narcissist here, they haven't tuned into their empathy. It's there somewhere, but they've piled a bunch of stuff on top of it. You can't even find it, needle in a haystack, because of their experiences. Okay. So maybe you're not tapped into your empathy at all. Maybe you're tapped into it, and you can feel others' vibes, and you can sense when someone is not in a great mood. You can sense when someone is elated. You can kind of just feel that energy. Okay. But to actually be truly empathetic, right, is, let's say someone was walking down the street and they fell. You would see it and you would go, ooh, that's terrible. Ooh, you know what I mean? But you would generally go along with your day. The highest level of empathy is usually when that person who was driving by that fall pulled over as they were already late for work and walked over to that person to lift them up off of the ground and make sure that they're okay. So are you one that takes action? What is your level of empathy? Are you using your empathy? Do you want to? Are you cool with, and again, this is about how you are comfortable. Are you cool with just being that person that shouts, are you okay? Are you cool with just, allowing that kind of Wi-Fi love and sympathy or empathy vibe over toward that person and just go along with your day? Like, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. You know what I mean? Which one's more comfortable for you? This is emotional intelligence, so that you are comfortable with yourself. Nothing else. So that's why it's so healing. It taps deep into your sense of authenticity. And there's a battle out there in the world of energy healing. Here's my take. Love. You can't truly love if you are not truly authentic. If you're not tapped into your love for yourself, you don't truly know what love is. Okay? Because you haven't experienced it yet. That's just the thing, right? So authenticity and love are having a battle in the world of energy healing right now. Which one is the highest vibration of all? During my training, one of the instructors said that there was a study, and he did show it to me, so I know what it is. I know that it exists out there, but I didn't document like the name of the facility that it was done in or anything, so I'm just gonna share it this way with you. Out in the UK, there was a study done, and they were able to measure the hertz between love and authenticity by asking a subject a few different questions that were that would connect you to your authenticity, and one that would connect you to your unconditional love for yourself, right? And these can be measured by hertz, just like any other frequency. And authenticity, rendered a higher frequency than love. So the highest frequency of all, in my humble opinion, would be authenticity. So empathy, emotional intelligence taps you into your authenticity, which also taps you into and aligns you with the highest frequency of all. If you'd like to know more about emotional intelligence, you could also book a session with me to do a 12-session program to dive in, help you do some self-discovery, help you along the way. And it doesn't have to be, you're not going to buy it in a block. All right. So I don't want to sell you anything. So just look at Facebook, book a session. We can take it from there. Email me, do whatever you want. Right. But if all I'm doing is offering you more information, it's there. If you want it, let me know. Okay. But before I give you your challenge for today, I'm going to recommend a book for you. Daniel Coleman is the one who coined the term emotional intelligence. And I've had this for a while, but he just did a revamp of the book that he wrote in 1990. Okay. Daniel Coleman, Emotional Intelligence. Grab this book. It has changed my life, honestly, in the way I look at life as a whole and the way I look at others as we move through life, as we experience this. Okay? Daniel Coleman, Emotional Intelligence, award-winning author, highly acclaimed, the groundbreaking book that redefines what it means to be smart. Why your EQ can matter more than your IQ. It's way more well-rounded. Those who have a higher EQ than an IQ have been found to get promotions, more often. They've been found to just have better and more fulfilling relationships and just enjoy their journey and just seem to be more successful. Because you can sit and memorize some things and get a really high SAT score in high school and then not be able to properly socialize at work. You might have terrible interpersonal skills. The soft skills matter, okay? In your professional life. So, we are at the end of today's Worthy Wednesday session. Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments when you do get to comment. I'm gonna fix it, I swear. That little purple monkey. Okay. So make sure to check out that book if you can. But I'm going to give you today's challenge, and it's going to be very easy, just like the rest of them. But as you go through your day between now and tomorrow, tomorrow's 3:00 live broadcast, just go through your day and jot down a thought that you may have labeled as a feeling. You're feeling, hunger is a feeling, okay? But, when you're walking around all day going, I just ate, but I'm starving. You're not starving. That's just a thought. That's not what you're feeling. But you're convincing yourself you are. You're programming yourself to believe that. So it's going to make you a little bit, miserable. So just, any examples that you find throughout your day where you're like, hey, wait a minute. That's actually not a feeling. That's actually just a thought that I did not have to connect with or entertain. Then it really helps you filter through things that could have you going on a downward spiral. Okay. So let's reprogram. Let's tap into our sense of worth and our sense of authenticity so that, we can just be more comfortable as we go out in the world and as we just sit in our own skin and hang out with ourselves, being our own best friend, because it's really important. It really is. Not letting anyone else convince us otherwise. Well, there you have it. Let me know what you think. Make sure to interact with the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. And I will be back here tomorrow for Thought Field Thursday, where we really get into some checkpoints and acupressure points to reprogram and rewire your nervous system against depression, triggers of anxiety, panic disorder, phobias, and physical pain. Thanks so much for watching. See you then.